Good afternoon. We had a bunch of news, mostly this past Friday, about the Organized Play Season 3. So yeah, be a good time for a little news vid and get everybody updated on this stuff. I'll jump right in. So yesterday, at two separate points in time, there was one post in the morning and one in the afternoon. Jasco put up a couple posts on their website announcing the details of the Organized Play Season 3. This is the schedule for the provisional events as well as the regional license exams. We'll go through the whole schedule in a little bit. I kind of put them together to see what the actual, week-to-week schedule looks like. And we also got to see the promos that are going to be given out at these events. And two of the regional promos are alternate arts of set 3 cards. So I'll talk about those separately, as well as the provisional promos in a little, preview commentary video, just sort of review the spoilers and whatnot. I'll link to those posts in the description if you haven't seen the cards yet somehow. And so you'll be able to go read them there. But for the alt arts, for pure alt arts of cards we've already seen, I'll just flip through them here. So this is the participation for the regional, is this really nice looking Giro. So that's going to be a cool one to get our hands on. And then we have regional exam promo instant explosive release. We got another Bakugo alternate art. Rising Starlet, which, the Momo fans are going to be all over. This is a really good card in Momo. It doesn't really see much play anywhere else, but, the art. They're doing a alt art. This is... Nobody's going to want this card. This is going to be the dud. I assume there's some Present Mike fans out there that'll want this, but so far as I know, nobody's actually put this card to any good use. So it's a bit of a weird choice, but maybe they just had Present Mike art, and when you have Present Mike art, there's not a lot of choices for what you can do with it. And we also get Manly Passionate Guy. This is a really nice alt art in the regional set. The other two cards are set 3 cards called Cheerleader and Student of the Art in terms of the Core 6 regional promos. But we also have our Contender and Champion cards are going to be Slashing Whirlwind this time. So the silver, I think this is one where the gold one definitely looks better. At least in the previews. Some people have said, they thought this one would look better, but then in real life the other one looks better. But the gold and the red looks pretty good here. So that should be a nice one. Yeah, those are pretty nice. Aside from those announcements, some random notes in the Discord and elsewhere, the Genkan promo distribution is still being worked on. They're trying to figure out how to balance, these are promotional cards that are supposed to spur people to engage with Jasco and do demos and buy product and that sort of thing. But also, they don't want to make people feel like they're locked into spending every hour of their Genkan, at the Jasco booth or whatever. So they're trying to figure out how to balance it so that they're still doing their job, right? Their purpose of getting people to engage without feeling like it's a huge time sink and you can't do your other Genkan things while you're, going around making sure you get these promos. They also formally announced the change in their Swiss pairing system in the MHA app. So this was in place in Orlando, but they didn't have the details on it. And as expected, the way it works is if you have the same record as somebody, all the players with the same record get paired randomly now. So everyone who's 5-1, or I guess, has enough draws to be the equivalent of 5-1 or 4-2, or however the math works. But if you have the same number of match points, all those people are just shuffled up and paired randomly instead of being based on what your tiebreakers are. So this should help with the buy problem that we had at Origins, where using your buy almost felt like a punishment because you just got paired into all the other buys. Now it's just going to be strictly random, give or take, making sure people don't play twice or something like that. And last little bit of sad news, Sam Tate of Ace Maneuvers had to postpone the Evil Badge event. It sounds like he didn't quite drum up enough interest for it. It's really hard to get people to come out for, random one-off webcam events unless they're, huge Jasco provisionals or whatever. So a little unfortunate we couldn't get enough interest in that. I was kind of looking forward to it. But we'll see where that goes moving forward. I'm sure he still wants to do that sort of idea, but he's probably going to try to think of maybe a better timing or a different way to do it. So yeah, that leads into our upcoming event schedule. So this is all put together. Everything below the line is Season 3, which is going to give out the new Season 3 provisional promos, the new Season 3 license exam promos. So tomorrow, as of recording, There's going to be a provisional in Toronto. This is not a real event. I mean, it is a real event, right? Somebody's going to get a 2-round bye. There are 12 people registered for it. So I wouldn't take too much out of, what deck wins or whatever. It's going to be a glorified Rochester-Toronto combination local, pretty much. But, it's drivable for us, so we're going to go down there. We're going to get some promos, see if one of us can pick up a couple buys, and see how that goes. The next actual big event is the regional license exam at Gen Con in Indianapolis on August 4th through 7th. There's going to be regional. There's also going to be a couple of one-off single and provisionals. There's going to be team provisional. Those events usually aren't too hyper competitive, but they'll be there, and can see what turns up at those. People probably practicing decks they might play at the regional or something like that. And there will also be the giant card event, things like that. There's more TBDs, probably incorrect. I probably should have edited that, since we do have the full Gen Con event schedule up. Sort of a carryover from an older video. But yeah, that's August 4th through 7th. The regional itself is on the 6th and the 7th. And with the Season 3 stuff announced, this starts off a long string of back-to-back-to-back-to-back weekends of events. So there's the regional and Gen Con on the 6th and the 7th. And then the next weekend, there's a webcam provisional. The next weekend, there's a regional in Toronto. Newly announced, the first regional for Season 3. So right back to Toronto, 1 month after the provisional for regional. My understanding is that that's during some kind of Canada provisional province fair kind of thing, or like a national fair. There's some kind of big event going on while this is happening. That's not just like an anime con or something. So, keep an eye on the travel plans. It may be a little bit more expensive because of people traveling for whatever this is, but I hear there's good food. I've never been. I don't really know what's going on with this, but I'm looking forward to it. The next weekend is another webcam provisional, so it's regional provisional, and then another in-person regional the next weekend in Pasadena, California. That is Labor Day weekend. We'll see how many people make it out to that. That sort of makes it easier and harder at the same time to travel out. And then after those 5 weeks in a row of events, we have 2-week break, which I think a lot of people are going to start speculating is probably where they're thinking they're going to try to release Heroes Clash in 1 or 2 of those weeks. So that's probably our best expectation for a release date right now, without a formal announcement, is that it's going to be in one of those mid-September weekends. At least the pre-releases will be. And then after the 2-week break, there's the webcam provisional, the 24th and the 25th. That could be the first Heroes Clash event. We'll see. And then after that, we're going to have an in-person provisional in Rochester, New York. So, that is where I am. If you do not know, that is where I play. It's where Rochester CCG is. Rochester CCG is going to be running the event. They are well known for running really good events. Sean from Rochester CCG has a really cool place scoped out for it. So, we're going to have a cool space. People usually like their trips up here. And so, yeah, it is a provisional, but it's going to be... It could be one of the early Heroes Clash events if things go as expected. And, there will be side events. We're thinking up some cool side events that we can do. So yeah, if it's driving distance, you don't know how many people are going to actually fly to this, but it's drivable. Definitely try to make it up, because it should be a pretty good time. And then after that, 2 weeks later, is the last regional license exam for 2022 in all likelihood. This one is going to be online. So, everyone will have had a solid, 6 weeks or so, 5 or 6 weeks after Pasadena to look at the point standings, figure out, what they need to do. Do they need to play in this? That's going to be the final push for the top 5 to punch their ticket to the Invitational, pending Nationals results, of course. Yeah, so that is a busy upcoming schedule starting in a few weeks here. We've got a little bit quiet for a little bit, and then starting with Gen Con, it's going to be a big storm of UVS goings-ons to cover. So we'll look forward to that hangout. I guess, given that they've started to show some promos, we might start seeing actual more in-set Heroes Clash previews on Monday, maybe? Probably. I would assume so. But, we'll see how that goes. And I don't know if we'll hear too much over the weekend, so we'll see. May or may not have another news video on Monday night. Might be Tuesday night, something like that. But yeah, we'll play it by ear as always. And yeah, take care until next time.